And, of course, Doug Burgum is, as you said, the head of the National Energy Dominance Council, which means he's involved in international affairs as well. Just got back from Asia, recently in Venezuela. Secretary Burgum, good to chat with you again. Can you give us any more insight, details, maybe or maybe not, into what's happening with Iran? Still a lot of questions. Markets reacting positive. But realistically, where do we stand right now?
Well, I think what you're seeing from the president's tweets today is that there is engagement with Iran about possible solution going forward. There's a time frame for that to try to progress forward, so we'll see how that goes. But I have tremendous confidence. President Trump's energy dominance policy was made for exactly this kind of moment, which is for the U.S. to, build up production. We're the world's largest oil producer, world's largest LNG exporter, world's largest natural gas producer, sometimes by more than double, number 2 and number 3. So it's incredible that we've been able to, as a country, unleash all of these natural resources, which again makes it affordable for people here at home, but it also is the key to prosperity. It's the key to solving a number of these dilemmas. And other administrations have kicked this can down the road of Iran for 47 years, and it's been a cloud over the global economy during that entire time, and President Trump is going to resolve it, and I'm very confident as the deal maker in chief, he's going to come out of this with a winning deal for Americans.
So we're blessed and lucky to be in the United States for many, many reasons. One of them is relative energy independence, but overseas it's not so lucky. And you were just in Asia. You did $56 billion in deals, liquefied natural gas. South Korea, Japan are allies. But they're hugely reliant on the fuel, oil, gas, natural gas, chemicals that comes out of the Strait of Hormuz. What are our partners? What did they tell you in Asia about this war? And I would imagine they need a speedy resolution.
Well, yes, they do. But what they also said was they want to buy more energy from the U.S. I mean, this is part of the energy dominant strategy is enough production so that we can have lowest prices, most supply here in the U.S., but then our allies and our friends can buy from us as opposed to having to buy from countries that either wage war or fund terrorism. So if you were buying from Venezuela, Russia, or Iran, then what were those dollars going towards? They were going towards fighting back at us. So having enough energy, which we do, can help bring peace to the world. I mean, Venezuela, where I was a couple weeks ago, I mean, we took President Trump's leadership, we took a sanctioned adversary and in less than 2 hours turned them into a strategic ally. It's taking a few weeks.
But they're not going to add enough oil to make a difference, though, in the near term. It's going to take years, is it not?
Their production last year was 800,000. When the numbers come out, they could be at 1.2 million. They could be up 50% already just in the first 2.5 months. And, of course, a lot of headroom growing above that. But when you asked about what they were asking about in Japan, it's not just our allies. It's also in interior, we've got responsibility for the territories. So Guam, Marianas Islands, American Samoa, these Pacific islands that represent our front line of defense in the Pacific, and then plus our 50th state, Hawaii, also out there in the middle of the Pacific. They're all just like Japan and Korea, Taiwan, the Philippines, all of our allies, all dependent on foreign oil. So is Hawaii. We're Pearl Harbor. Yeah. Think of the assets we have there. We stopped. We met with the governor. We met with the 4-star that leads the Pacific. We need to make sure that we've got energy security for our territories, for our states, and one of the places that can come from is Alaska.
I was just going to talk about Alaska because I think ExxonMobil just bid on a lease up there. First time in forever. We were together in June of last year on the North Slope. And I actually saw the mayor,
yes.
A few from the North Slope, Ukivik. Yes. They're here now today, yes. And we said hi. Any update on that Alaska LNG project? $44 billion. That's a lot of LNG that could be sold to Asia, but a lot of people say it's just too expensive. It's never going to get done.
Well, it's going to get done, and it's a high priority, and it's going to get done because A, the supply, and B, the security. If you're shipping LNG from Alaska to Tokyo, it's an 8-day trip versus a 28-day trip if there's no constraints. But if you have a constraint at the Straits of Hormuz, the Straits of Mallorca, the South China Sea. There's multiple places where supply interruption could occur for Korea, for Japan, for the Philippines, for Taiwan, all of the Thailand, all of our allies that are friends of the U.S. Alaska Energy, it's not only 8 days, 5 of those days you're in U.S. territorial waters along the Aleutian Islands. So it's a secure supply of energy.
You're confident it's going to get done?
I'm completely confident, and we're continuing to work on it here this week. Met with the mayor, as you saw in the hallway, him this morning. I mean, their organization, the North Slope Bureau, are so pro-energy because they've seen lifespan increases. They've seen oil and gas pay for hospitals, schools, clinics, roads, airports. I mean, it is the central to the economy. And in the National Petroleum Reserve, Alaska, where we had this record-setting lease last Wednesday, it wasn't just the names you mentioned, but ConocoPhillips, who's already there, was back in bidding. But Repsol, Santos, a number of other smaller companies, and the ones that were there said, like, wow, we were hoping to get more acreage than they did. We had 187 tracts that were sold, record revenue coming into the U.S. Treasury. Huge interest in that. And when the Prime Minister of Japan was with the President this week, you know what she said? She said, we want to buy more oil from Alaska. We've got a pipe that's only running at 40% up there. We don't even need the new infrastructure. More oil production coming up, and some of those folks that have been up there working are going to see first oil coming this spring.
How does the war and the problems at the Strait of Hormuz change your thinking, or should change America or Canada's, to be fair, our partner to the north, our thinking on energy supply chains? Because people knew how important it was. I don't know if, I certainly didn't. I want to be very clear on that. I did not realize, I knew it was important. I didn't realize how important it was. How do we change our thinking on energy supply chains?
Well, I think, I don't want to say, the Trump administration knew this on day one. President Trump declared an energy emergency on day one, and people question him. Why is he doing that? We've got all this supply. No, he did it because he understood the risks that exist in the world in these supply chains. We've been working on this problem since day one. We were working on it last June when our military was trying to take out their nuclear production in Iran. We have been completely aware of this thing. We're aware of how everybody in the Pacific, the whole Alaskan LNG pipeline and unleashing Alaska Energy was President Trump understanding that our allies, our territories in the state of Hawaii, and even the state of California, when this conflict arose with Iran 3 weeks plus ago, California was importing 63% of their oil from foreign countries. The number one import was coming from Iraq through the Strait of Hormuz. There is zero reason.
Into California.
Into California. There's zero reason. So every day there's oil.
Why? And I know they're getting fuel from the Bahamas because of the Jones Act, and they had to ship it from Houston to the Bahamas, change ships, and come back. So the Jones Act's been suspended. So number one, should we just kill the Jones Act forever? Because with all due respect to the American shipping industry, it's not what it was 120 years ago or whatever it is. And number two, why is California importing oil from Iraq?
Well, this would be a good question for Gavin Newsom, but there's ships coming in every day to San Francisco Bay and Long Beach with both oil and with refined product. It's going to be more and more refined. Here we are in Texas, 36 refineries in Texas, a new one being built, the America First one, $300 billion project. California has 8 versus 36. 8 is going down to 6 refineries. Chevron and Valero already announced they're closing down. So the state that has more internal combustion machines than any other state has vehicles is, through policy, restricting their supply of transportation fuels.
They're going to have 2 new pipelines, I think, coming into California pretty soon, aren't they? They're going to have to.
They have to. I mean,
they have to. I mean,
and we've got the energy to supply them. I mean, every American deserves to have his opportunity to have affordable, reliable, and secure energy, and that's what President Trump's working on. But if people think by blocking pipelines with American natural gas or American energy products is going to save the planet, you're actually just creating a national security risk for the country, and you're raising the prices for everybody in your state. And we see this in New England, we see it on the West Coast, and we're fighting to make sure that everybody has access to reliable, affordable energy.
And by the way, Governor.